Welcome back, everybody. This is Michael Liberis from JurisQ.com, where we bring you different attorneys from different states to explain topics in law. And today we welcome back Stephen Zielinski from the law office of Herbert Lawrence to talk about personal injury, about the rights of victims of car accident cases, of personal injury cases. Stephen, first of all, welcome back. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michael.
And I want to thank you for really driving home the point that people that get injured in car accidents, they are victims. You said it. It's a perfect term for it. They're victims of these incidents, and victims deserve compensation. But sometimes, Stephen, these victims put themselves in a worse situation and almost victimize themselves if they don't follow sound advice from their attorneys. I want to hear from you without disclosing any names, without breaking attorney-client privilege, of what, in your years of experience, what have you seen in experience of what happens when clients don't follow their attorney's advice?
Thank you, Michael. And you use a perfect term, victim, for an injured person in an accident, either a fall down accident where they become injured, they are the victims of possibly negligence of the property owner,
right,
or in a motor vehicle accident when they are either a passenger in someone's car or on a bus or on a driver of a vehicle or even a pedestrian of a vehicle, or get struck by a vehicle and they get hurt. They are victims. They get hurt. Now, what does that mean? Injuries are traumatic when you're in an accident. That affects your physical being, your body. It affects your muscles, your bones. It affects your mind. It affects your attitude. It affects your ability maybe not to work or to do your activities in a normal fashion. And sometimes these injuries don't magically appear right after the accident.
Right.
All right. Sometimes these injuries take a long time to heal with the appropriate medical care or physical therapy care, even injections to the spinal areas, or operations where you have herniated discs in your back or your neck that don't seem to hurt you right away, but over the course of several days, weeks, or months become worse.
Absolutely.
So what happens is that those injuries are important to treat right away. I've seen too many people who are too busy with their daily lives and they sustain injuries in accidents and they don't seek immediate medical care because for some reason, they think that these injuries will automatically either get better, subside, or go away by themselves. And after a couple of days or weeks, they get worse. And then the injured victim goes to a doctor or a chiropractor or an emergency room because they are having a lot of problems.
Right.
Well, that time delay in seeking treatment usually happens in accordance with the injured victim's decision not to call an attorney right away. So they are working by themselves, for themselves, with the misinformation that these injuries are not serious.
Right.
It's important when you then get an attorney and the attorney looks at your information, and if you haven't gone to the doctor in weeks or months after the accident to get appropriate treatment, the insurance company for the other car or driver is going to take the position that these injuries weren't that severe. They're not permanent. You just made them worse by doing something else. So it's important to get immediate treatment by the doctors, chiropractors, or the emergency room staff, but it's also important that you are helped and protected by hiring an appropriate personal injury lawyer who can oversee what you are doing.
Mhm.
I've seen all too frequently where these victims of car accidents have treated or didn't treat for weeks. And then when it came time to file their suit, they go out and hire an attorney. And then the insurance company comes in and said, but oh, look at the period of time after the injury happened or the accident happened and the treatment. Therefore, there wasn't that serious an injury. All right, that's the problem. So you've got to do what you got to do when you got to do it. That's again going back to the status that these victims, the persons that are injured, are following their attorney's advice and their doctor's advice in continuing to treat. I've seen it all too often where injured people, severely injured people, need the money and they settle their claims without a lawyer too early in the case. And after the settlement, the injuries take a disastrous toll because they get so bad that they can't work any longer or they're impaired with their job. And it's too late at that point to go back and reopen the case, because once you settle with the insurance company, there's a release that's signed by the injured victim. That releases the insurance company and the negligent driver or property owner from any further responsibility. So you've got to know what you're doing, when you're doing it, and you got to follow your lawyer's advice and your doctor's advice in continuing the treatment. I hope that answers the question, Michael.
Stephen, not only it answers the question, I view those words as words of gold. Okay, Stephen, because what you have underscored is very important to note for people, that not only you have to make the right choice in choosing the attorney, such as, by the way, your firm, very seasoned, has seen it all, can take the case from A to Z, all the way to trial. You're not afraid of going to courthouse if need be to fight these insurance companies, and they know that. But it's also important, once you hire the attorneys, you made the wise decision to hire the right firm, follow their advice. They've been there, they have seen it all. There's a reason why you hire these professionals to fight on your behalf. These professionals and you have their interests aligned, because Stephen, you don't get paid if you don't win a case, and the more you win, the more you get paid, correct? Let's just be honest, that's the formula here, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's in your best interests to get the maximum compensation for a client. So I urge everyone, if you're watching this video, if you sustained an accident, don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call the phone number on the bottom of the screen. You're going to get free consultation, see and hear what the attorneys have to say, and then make a decision. And I hope the decision will be the correct one, to hire the law office of Herbert Lawrence and Stephen Zielinski. Stephen, thank you so much again for your time. We're going to bring you back already next month for more questions. You make the law come to life. That's what I like about you. You really make it very interesting, because sometimes law could be dry. You make it very, very relevant and interesting for us to watch and to get educated on. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time at JurisQ. Take care.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks. Bye.